And now.
And
Hello.
it should be coming up in
What's
just a
up,
second.
party people?
It just takes a second. Here we
How many
go.
people are
We're
waiting?
here.
Six people are waiting.
6 people are waiting. We're here.
That's me then.
That's you. You're in a. You can't see yourself in YouTube, but you're in a little. You're in a big circle, and we're in 2 little rectangles.
Okay, cool.
So that
There we are. There we are.
So I will now. Do we have link? We do have link. I can.
Yeah, I'll put it. The link, people, for all the others who don't know, but they hear it now. But it's like weird since I put it on Instagram. A swipe up link,
All right, okay.
so people can join via that. Gareth, are you still with us?
I am with you. I am with
Okay,
you. I am with you.
I was just wondering because I saw you talking and I wasn't.
No, yeah, I
sure
put myself on mute for a second just to
Okay,
exchange a little just have a little tete-a-tete.
Don't scare me all the time with that.
No, sorry. No, I do keep doing that
Oh,
just
there
so
we
that
go.
just because it just makes. Also, I'm very conscious of making sounds around the microphone and whatever. So
yeah, totally understandable.
yeah.
Live from my desk.
So yeah, just wait for some people to come in. I'll go and
8
put the thing
people
in.
are in. What's up with the connection, by the way? For the stream is kind of like.
Is there an issue with the connection?
No, I don't know. I'm asking on your part. It's not high quality right now, from me at least. But maybe it's on my side.
Okay. I don't know.
Maybe it's my side. Maybe it's my side. Don't worry about it. It put me down to 144 for some reason, but now it's better. It's all
Okay,
good.
cool. So what should I say? Something like Raid71 with us now for
10 people are here. Who's here, people? Let us know. What's up? What's up? What's up? Tell your friends. Tell everybody. We're here. Chris is doing funny stuff. Mustache things. So the shaggy hair, Chris. Did you let it grow out, or what happened?
I've not had it cut since March,
Oh,
and then
still not.
yeah.
So
and-
basically,
and-
since the last time we talked.
yeah, and also I'm working on the Scott Pilgrim poster,
Okay, cool.
so it's a nice reference to the shaggy hair.
Yeah,
Is my
I'll
hair
take
shaggy?
it. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Can we see what's in the back there? The plague mask. While we're waiting.
The numbers are coming. I haven't even done post yet. I'm just doing them now. With
That's
the links.
amazing.
So yeah, what you got behind you?
Where did you get that from?
I just started it online.
Okay, crazy. Didn't know they.
This guy, we dress him up every so often with funny masks. So yes.
By the way, speaking of references, do you also take photos of references? Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's so cool.
That's
then-
pretty dope, yeah.
This is my pre-production little model.
Oh my god, I love this guy. Looks pretty awesome. Who's making them, those toys?
Bottlenecks making them.
Bottleneck with Ishmael, Justin Ishmael?
Uh,
Oh, because he does some of
I
the toy
don't-
stuff. doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yes, so they sort all that. So they've been liaising with the production, and I get to sign off the colours and the details and make sure everything's accurate on it and things like that. And then I signed off the variant last week, which was very, very cool.
Nice. That's very cool, man. I love that you do that stuff. That you also dip your toes into something else. How much was the part in terms of you doing like 3D work, or how did they, or did somebody else do the 3D mold?
It was one of my friends does scratch building toys,
Okay.
and he paints like little, D&D figures and things like that. And I gave his son a poster, and as a thank you, he sent me a scratch built little model of something that I'd done, and I was like, oh, I really love this. So that sat on my shelf, and the ideas sat there for ages, but I just don't have time. So in the end, I'd worked with somebody else on a commission, and they'd created a figure. So I asked them if they could have a look at doing it for me. So they kind of produced it and did a couple of samples. I was really happy with that, and then I photographed it, and then sent it over to Joe, and I said, "What do you think?" And he said, "Oh, we're going to make that."
This is very nice. By the way, is your family watching?
No, they're probably playing Tony Hawk's skateboard. And I think my eldest got a girlfriend, so he's out now.
Okay.
I never see him anymore.
He's gone.
I think we should probably start. We should properly start. I mean, I think the numbers are going to come up. I think it's partly because one thing I didn't quite consider is that if people came in to watch your session just gone, they've also just been through 2 hours.
Yeah. So they've had enough.
No, not they've had enough. They may need to go to the toilet just as we've done.
I'm almost by 30 in, so.
So yeah, Chris, thank you for joining us.
Well, I've not left. I've been here for 2 hours.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us. To do this one. You haven't left there, and your hat is still on. Like, is it?
No, it's cold, and the studio is huge, and I haven't put the heating on. And if I put the heating on, you would hear it a little bit, and then. So I just thought I'll put a hat on.
So you're freezing your butt off just for us. That's very nice of you.
Yeah, it's. I have to work really fast to keep warm.
Yeah. Chris, first question off the bat, because we talked earlier about the passing of Chadwick Boseman. How did it affect you?
Yeah, that was a real shocker. Yeah, what a tragedy. What great potential, I think, for that as an actor. Perfect for that part in Black Panther. But most of us probably discovered him in Black Panther. But when you go and look at his other work, such an amazing talent. But some of the things, the usual things, everybody starts sticking up these pictures. But the one that really struck me was him visiting children in cancer wards.
That was crazy, right? Seeing him going, like knowing right now what he went through at that time, and he's on so much for these kids, even though they were in the same position that he is. It was incredible.
Yeah. Then I think that showed, the grace of the person. That it's such an inspiration, really.
Yeah, and I also I saw this video. I don't know if some other people saw it as well, where when he was at Jimmy Fallon, and when people came from the African American community came to they were talking to the poster of Black Panther and what the movie meant to them. And then at the end, when they were done talking, Chadwick Boseman stepped out and talked to them. It's from last year or so, or must be around the time when Black Panther came out. 2 years ago now. But this is just crazy. It's all of us, all the three, three white person, and having not at least I couldn't grasp what that means for the certain community, and I think seeing this and what it makes you feel is just incredible. That one person who embodies that, represents this community in that way, is just amazing.
I think I've got two young kids, and I've taken them to see all the Marvel films. So they didn't start straight away because they're all they're like 13, 14, but I've been in a lucky position where they love Marvel. I like taking them along. And if they watch Black Panther, they don't come out of it. You just see people. They're not seeing race anymore. They go and watch Captain Marvel. They come out of it and talk about how great she was at the end scene, and how fantastic that fight sequence was at the end. It's really good that they've been brought up in that kind of more diverse. It's not diverse enough yet, but
it's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah. But they don't see it as a thing like we might, or our generations might have seen it. They see it as normal. They're just shocked, really, and saddened.
Yeah, definitely needs to get there.
I was just going to say that when that being in the audience during Black Panther and just the feeling in that cinema, just a lot of black people in the screen, just the way, but just the excitement that I think they're just because there is such an underrepresentation. Just the feeling was just so great in terms of they were just happy for Chadwick, happy for the the whole thing is. But it was just a pleasant feeling.
Yeah.
And stuff. So
I wanted to ask Chris, do you want to work on you didn't do Black Panther yet, did you? But
no.
Would you love to do that now, in the aftermath, to have to see that and not making a tribute or anything, but maybe it was down the line that you always wanted to do it, but just didn't have the time or the license yet.
It was always on my list of things to do, but I don't want to ride the wave of publicity that it's got at the moment.
I know what you're saying.
I had that problem in the past. Pre Steve Jobs dying, I designed the logo with the apple, with Steve Jobs' face in the Apple logo.
Okay. I was like, what? Are you joking right now?
I was like, did you design the Apple logo?
Yeah, no, not the Apple logo. So the one with.
But I do look
the bite of the apple is the silhouette of Steve Jobs' face. Yeah. So this was 6 months before he passed away, and again, he's another person that didn't want to tell anybody he was ill. And then when that came out, and another artist had pinched it, there was such a media storm. It was on the front page of the Telegraph in the UK and all this, that, and the other. Yeah. And I had Channel 4 News came round to my house to interview me about it, and all this. And it was like, it left such a bad feeling for me to be associated with somebody passing away and getting attention for it that I've always stayed clear of it. I didn't enjoy the publicity. It blew up, suddenly I gained thousands of followers here, there and everywhere, and I just didn't want that. I don't want them kind of people to follow me. I
do want to talk about a little bit, one of the things, having done all these the preparation conversations with you guys before the convention. So I've got a locket in my mouth because I've been talking a lot.
There's already a question from the audience, Gareth. If you should I throw it in, or you want to go?
No. Well, we'll talk about. I just wanted to cover briefly the other areas of just. Some poster artists have a lot of other things going on, and you revealed to us a couple of days ago that you did artwork for the band the Tings. I mean, I'm trained as a graphic designer. I went to art college, did graphic design, studied typography at university, did computer programming for Virgin Media. You just do everything and you meet everybody. But I was in at the stage where I was doing more computer programming than anything, and I started doing multimedia CD-ROM. So I was connected with Philips. So I'd worked on a wide range of multimedia. Yeah, that was the thing. An artist released a CD, and you popped it into your computer, and you could watch a little video and a little, I remember those.
The internet was only just kind of bubbling along.
Yeah, you got the music video for the song on the CD.
Yeah, and an old friend of a friend from art college just recommended me, and they turned up at my studio, and we got on, chatted. They had the recording studio in Salford. So I used to go along and sit in the recording studio, and they'd play me new songs, and I'd work on some stuff. And then, this is all pre them signing the record deals and things like that. So they had a green screen in their kind of garage. So we used to make little videos, quirky videos and stuff like that. And used to stick them online, and then they invited me along to MTV and all that kind of stuff, and it's fun.
Yeah, I'm living that rock star life, my friend.
I also heard something about the Smiths as well. I don't know what I didn't know about the Smiths stuff. Have you done stuff for the Smiths?
Yeah, so I did just for I did a promotional calendar for I was director of a design studio, and we did a promotional calendar every year. And one year we did music, reinterpretation of music. So I did some Smiths covers and did them as Penguin books.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, and we sent out about 200 of these calendars to our clients, to our best clients and stuff. And then just getting phone calls. Can I get this as a print? Can I get this as a print? Can I get this as a print? and then so we said, oh yeah, we'll do a print then. So we just printed them, and then I got an art gallery getting in contact and saying, look, we really like to make these into big pieces of art. And I was like, yeah, I'm up for that. And then Johnny Marr popped along, and
the god.
Yeah, he loved it. So I've got that. But pre that one, Andy Rourke came round to our studio because he was working with somebody else we were working with, and we played Quake with him and things like that. So I met two of them, and I believe the drummer lives locally in Blackburn, so I didn't meet him. Sadly.
The best two, if I'm so bold.
Yeah.
Love the Smith Morrissey. Right. Anyway. So
Morrissey's gone downhill now.
Oh yeah, nobody can associate themselves with Morrissey anymore. So yeah, it'd be. I think we should, because there are some questions coming in. We should just ask those. But then we'd be good to discuss a few of you. She's welcome to Julia. If you're watching, hello.
No, she's not watching. She'll be off doing something.
working hard.
She's not interested.
Yeah, it'd be good if we could do a couple of the questions that you said that you were seeing, and then we'll touch on some of your techniques. We'll show some posters and we'll go from there. So Tom, if you want to pick up on some questions.
Sure. The first question is by Barry McGrogan, and he wants to know when did you feel you established yourself with a career in AMP? What kind of print was it?
So I was doing the Smiths prints, and they were selling. They were doing really well. And then I got this email from a guy who was doing a cinema screening and wanted Leon the Professional doing. Loved what I was doing, so I did that. And he's one of the people that went on to form Bottleneck Gallery.
This guy.
Yeah, so I was in contact with them, and at the beginning there was lots of group shows. So Gallery 1988 and and things like that. Gallery F in Chicago. So I was doing bits and pieces for that, and just slowly built. Everybody jumps in and thinks they're going to sell 100 posters. You've done the best piece of art in the world. You stick it on your website. There's 100 of them, and you don't sell 100. I started off selling 20, and then selling 30, and then there was a Blade Runner show, and I did a Blade Runner piece, and that was 40. That sold out in seconds, and that was the first kind of, oh, hang on. And I was getting email after email, and then I think that's when I realised I could have printed 100 of these, and it's still one of my more sought after prints, I think, as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it took a long time, and it took a lot of patience as well. That not everything you produce is a winner. Understanding what people are looking for, what they like about your work, what they don't like about it. So I still don't think I'm established. I don't take it for granted.
Okay, that's good. Good to hear. Pete Hendricks, shout out to Pete.
He's from Birmingham. Hello, Pete.
Yeah, he's all about the streams right now. He's like every stream he contributed. So thank you for that.
Excellent. Thanks, Pete.
As you're the master of rain in your concepts, do you contribute that to living in Scotland?
No, I didn't always. Pete knows this.
You didn't always live in Scotland.
I lived in Lancashire, and Lancashire is where all the cotton mills were based in the Industrial Revolution, because it's damp, because it rains a lot. So it's a good place to weed cotton.
It's the right humidity for it.
Yeah, so I know every variant of rain: drizzle, sideways rain, bouncing rain. And you grow, you
Pissing
either hate
rain.
it, yeah, you either hate it or you grow to love it. And I love rain. I think it's brilliant. I love it.
So
That's why when you go, if anybody ever goes to Manchester and it's raining, and they wonder why people in Manchester walk around with t-shirts and no umbrellas, it's because they like it.
You heard it here first, people.
I like it that way. So if we go into, are there any more questions at this point?
It's just what's dropping later,
Someone's
but
asking
I
what's
think
dropping on your store, but
Something with rain. It's on the store. It'll drop after we finish this, and it's the APs of my Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, that's what Julia's preparing. I take it.
No, she's probably drinking a bottle of wine.
Oh, there you go. That's a good choice on a Saturday.
I'll have to press the button now.
So yeah, if we take a look at some of your posters, one of the things I'd really like to cover is I think we're going to go in with this topic is foil. So we're going to get up a picture of one of your foil posters. It's going to be 2001: Space Odyssey.
Okay.
So yeah, I just wondered if you could talk to us about your approach to foil, because foil can be a bit of a controversial subject in the print community, because sometimes it's not used right, and sometimes it's done as an afterthought or what have you, and but you really use it as a design element.
I had this. Everybody, when you produce a poster, you're always thinking about a variant as well, and some galleries just say, right, we'll put that on foil. And it's like, well, what do you mean? I designed it to be on foil. It's, change colours. No, foil sells really well. There's one particular gallery that's surprisingly no longer with us, that everything had to be on foil. And it didn't need to be on foil. And I got really annoyed at that. I got really pissed off at it, to tell you the truth. And then I thought, well, I'll start thinking about the foil first, rather than an afterthought. I'll still make it work without a foil, and then I got addicted to hollow foil because it shimmers and because it moves. It's like, well, how can I utilize this? And I did the Akira piece for Bottleneck Gallery.
Yeah, it's a beautiful piece.
And it just sends
We'll show
those
that
city lights. Yeah, it just makes those city lights move.
Sorry, wrong poster. There you go.
Yeah,
there we go. Akira with the foil. There we go.
There you go. Yeah, and I put that. I do put my prints up in the studio so that I can look at them afterwards and work out what has worked with it, what hasn't worked, and what really works so well on that is those city lights that move. So then I started playing around with that more and more. So I then started repeating it on things like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. It kind of works again with the lights. And then really works on something like Finding Nemo, which
Finding
I think
Nemo, yeah.
is...
We'll get that up as well. The Finding Nemo is a stunning piece. If you could just... we were actually showing the regular version, but obviously it's not... you don't quite get it anyway unless you're actually seeing it in the flesh. But if you could talk about what your concept was for that.
Yeah, so... again, because that, especially with hollow foil, because wherever position you're looking at that print, it changes the colour slightly. And because jellyfish have that natural reflection of light, which they use to communicate with each other and things like that, so I thought it was absolutely perfect for using on this. So, yeah, I was really pleased with that. But yeah, so as you have that print up in the room, it makes the jellyfish not move as like a lenticular kind of moves, but just kind of, it catches your eye more.
There's a bit of life to it.
Yeah, exactly. And from that I move on to things like Iron Giant, where I used it as the beams of light that are coming through the trees, and it breaks up the light. So again, the light seems to be like dust in the air that's kind of slowly shimmering. So a lot of people might have noticed now that the regular is the foil rather than the variant. I know people don't like foil, so you can have the variants then instead.
but it was part of your initial thought process.
It's part of
so
that.
it was the
Yeah,
regular.
You know, let's use that. Let's
Yeah.
do something with it rather than it just being the board. You see some art and it's just the border and a couple of dots. And it doesn't make sense to me.
Understandably.
Yeah, and you know, as other people play around with glow in the dark, it's a nice trick, and it, you know, and you can call it a gimmick, but I think you've got to look at the process and use it right, and it stops being a gimmick, and it stops being a cash grab, so to speak.
Mm. There's a couple of questions on are there going to be any more Disney foils in the future? Alan Towley.
Yes, I've got. I sent some off for approval, but yes, I'd like to do Finding Dory. I did an official Finding Dory poster, but I'd like to do a Finding Dory and carry on that theme. But yeah, I love all the kind of Pixar side of Disney.
Mm-hmm. Another question by the Green Yeti is: what is the favorite print that you've made? Or what's your favorite print?
The one for me was that first Blade Runner print. Because it was a Blade Runner show, a group show. I think there were about 20 artists there. Matt Ferguson was one of them and things like that. Very early on. And I thought there's no way I can produce something as good as some of these other guys. So I won't bother. I'll just do something entirely different. I'll just forget Blade Runner as everybody else sees it and just do something entirely different. And I think that print is that key print where I'm not chasing the same audience anymore. I'm kind of just doing more art pieces. And so that's a quite significant print for me that I still like.
Okay, no more questions from the audience so far.
So if we can, so another thing that I wanted to talk to you about is your use of is structures. So we're showing now the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles poster.
That's awesome. I have it in a flat file.
And you've spoken before. You said when you had your little when you had your conversation with Tom for your Batman release, for your Batman gallery release, that you have experience in architecture, and that is one of the things that has led you to have buildings be one of the themes in your prints, basically.
Yeah. So when I finished, I did 3 years of art college, and I didn't go straight to university. I was lucky enough to get a job, and it was working for a company that worked with construction companies, photographing finished construction and pitched for construction jobs. So I kind of picked up this job where I'd be involved in doing presentations, for building football stadiums or city blocks down in London, and it was all about doing the watercolor to make things look nice, and people smiling as they walk past this new monstrosity that's just been built, and things like that. So I had a good grounding. I worked with a really good architect who, I say really good, he sat on my shoulder and he explained why this is like this and why this is like this and why that has to be like that, and the aesthetics of a building. And I got fascinated in it that the facade of this building is like the skin of a human, and then you look at the skeleton of a human. So it really I started to understand it more as anatomy of a building, that you can build the structure behind the building, and then that's why the lights work in certain positions, and that's how something looks odd and doesn't look right. And then he taught me about 3-point perspective, and 3-point perspective is a brilliant tool for an artist, but it's really precise, and that precision puts people off. So you have to kind of break the rule of 3-point perspective. So you kind of tilt it and slightly knock it out, so it looks more like a natural building then.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I spent 2 years just knee deep in architecture.
What you just mentioned, but is that also to sort of so you get rid of some of the symmetry perhaps that's going on?
Yeah, so if you look at and you can spot this in films, and this is why I keep coming back to Blade Runner and why Blade Runner is so beautiful, is that if you look at a bad science fiction film, all the buildings look like they've been designed at the same time.
Yeah.
Where if you understand how a city is built, is that one city block could be 3 decades older or younger than another city block, and there's different aesthetics, different design, considerations, and that's why you start having, and that's why Blade Runner works so well with the neon stuck on old buildings, next to modern buildings, next to run-down buildings. You get that diversity, and it's something I always try to do to make sure that each building tells its own little story in a way.
A question there from the audience. Javier, who also helped out with the Batman show.
Hi, Javier.
Shout out to Javier. Since you love to draw buildings and architecture in that regard, would you love to take part in an architecture show? For example, I collected a lot of the spoke art gallery release for the Frank Lloyd Wright edition, and I got curious. Yes. By the way, I got you.
Yeah, you PB'd for me.
Exactly. I was actually in New York at that time, so that was kind of cool to grab one. But yeah, would you love to do that? Take part in an architecture show and draw some famous buildings?
You like creating buildings, or
it depends which building. I'm more. Again, I'm going to keep bringing up Blade Runner. Mm-hmm. The genius of Ridley Scott with Blade Runner is how he lights a building, not necessarily the building itself. Mm-hmm. I know you can look at your classic architecture and say, wow, this building's aesthetically beautiful. But when you look inside, it looks like a museum, and it doesn't feel like you could actually live there, or that somebody is living there. You know, my studios are cluttered. There's no way I could live in one of those nice buildings. I'd destroy it. You know, so it's more about the lighting of a building and the atmosphere of a building that I'm interested in, or the demolition of a building or things like that. But yeah, at the time I got sent to a lot of architect conference, and I had to sit down on panels with architects, and architects are nice, but you don't want to spend too much time with them.
Okay, fair enough.
So I'll just check mine. I did have a list of key questions that I'd like to ask you. This is me being. So I'm completely going ahead and breaking the fourth wall right now.
That Deadpool style.
Fourth wall break inside of fourth wall break. Yeah. But I guess. Yeah, one of the things I wanted to talk about, and I'm not sure if we actually have a. Oh, we do. I think is that one there. No, it's not. Anyway, but Calvin and Hobbes. We'll talk about it without a poster showing. But your Calvin and Hobbes series is one that's getting a lot of love at the moment, obviously because you've had new prints come out for it. And I just wanted to see, you know, obviously that's just to establish what your sort of relationship with Calvin and Hobbes as a property is, and obviously it's something that a lot of people hold quite. You seem to pick a few of those that people that hold quite close, like Pete, you know, like Charlie Brown as well, and so. Basically, you could talk about your Calvin and Hobbes series for a bit.
So everybody should know Julia kind of runs the other side of Raid71. She does all the print handling. And when we first met, she gave me a Calvin and Hobbes book and said, "Oh, you might like this." And I'd never heard of Calvin and Hobbes. She was living in Scotland. I'm living down in Lancashire, so we chat a lot, and then meet up, and then chat a lot, and then meet up, and then things progress from that. But So she dropped this book off and said, have a read of this. So I read that, and then I saw her again about 2 weeks later, and I'd bought every single Calvin and Hobbes book that I could buy, different size formats, different colours, and just went through them all and just absolutely fell in love with him, and fell in love with not just the characters, his watercolours and everything, but just his attitude for things. And then somebody approached me and said, would you like to do a Calvin and Hobbes commission? I was like, yeah, I would, but I don't want to just take a page out of his book and just, make that into a poster. I want to do an original Calvin and Hobbes idea that follows his aesthetic and his sense of humour, which is, I think that everybody knows Calvin and Hobbes knows it's a brilliant sense of humour. So I created an original piece from that, and it was just a small little group of people, and yeah, we've just kind of every so often they'll go, can you do another one? So if I can come up with a good idea, I'll do it, but if I'm not going to push it.
Yeah, your focus seems to be on the spirits. I totally get that.
Yeah. I mean, that comes across in, my love of architecture and things like that, but I also have that same sense of humour, and I like doing pieces with senses of humour in as well. So that plays out in kind of me, Calvin and Hobbes, and my kind of take on Charlie Brown as well.
Love the new take on Charlie Brown. I mean, we were talking about at the beginning, not all the people saw the mask that you showed in the back there and your little vinyl toys that gonna come out soon.
Little prototype. I'm not. This will be out soon, but I've just signed off the kind of production of it. So
sweet, that's so sweet.
Guy.
To the left, over. To put it in front of your face.
No,
I can't see it. Oh, you can only see a little bit. Oh, okay. Just because. So as I say, we only see a circle if you rather than a rectangle if you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
There we go. There we go. Cool.
Very close. But it's a bit
Nice.
Which was. I think I might as well.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's all really great.
Are there any other questions that we should?
Not so far.
Okay. Well,
except people demanding to talk more about Blade Runner. That's what people want to talk about. And there's a Max Finkel. He was on last time. I remember Max. Nice to have you on again. Do you have any techniques or stylistic things you'd want to experiment with
Yes.
Which you haven't yet?
I'm just doing it at the moment. I'll bring it over. Because these are all experiments. I'll throw the rubbish ones away.
Well, we want to see that as well. They're probably not rubbish.
There they are.
That's
so
what
kind
you
of
see.
playing around with is that in the shot?
The horses.
Yeah.
You don't have a door, do you?
No. So these were kind of experiments on kind of pen and ink with brush pens, different sizes of brushes, kind of getting more abstract and things like that, and more detail. I have had a few emails of.
I was going to say.
Can you draw me a horse?
I was going to be like ISO.
So you make it a collaboration, make it the unicorn, the Blade Runner unicorn, and have a collaboration there.
Well, this is because somebody's asked me to do a poster with rain in it. So I really wanted to play around with this style. So I'm playing. Sorry, I've just lost me.
Sure, go ahead.
There we go. So yeah, I thought I'd try something different for it.
All right.
Okay. Cool. I think I was just looking at the time. I got caught by the time because we've got the.
Geez, time goes by so fast.
Time goes by so quickly. Yeah. Chris, is there anything you want to tease with us, or any if you anything you want to?
I have one more question though. Pete Hendricks wants to know again. What's your thought on silkscreen compared to litho?
silk screen. If you're going to do a project, both of them are fine. If you're going to do a project, don't do a silk screen looking print on litho. Take advantage of what litho can do.
Sure.
Don't make a litho into a screen print because it's going to destroy you.
There you go. You heard it here first.
There it was.
A lot of people want to know about the drop, so let's get that in, and then I think we have to go again.
Yeah, we have to go again.
Okay.
But we'll put the link to your.
No, let's let the people hear about the drop first.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Go.
Yes. So I've got my Blade Runner 2049 APs. One's on holofoil. One's not on. That don't like that will be regular. That's up in my store, and what? I'll make it live at 7 BST. So in 15
minutes. Okay.
There's sadly not many of them, so first come first serve.
So just head over there, grab a print if you can, and then come back to the next stream with the
more art gallery. You're launching more art. Yeah.
That's a big thing. There's going to be lots of cool stuff. I talk to James kind of on a regular basis, who is one part of More Art, and there's some cool stuff coming, people. So a little teaser here.
Awesome. So yeah, thanks guys, and see you in like 15 minutes.